مساء الخير. Class of 2019, congratulations. Dear distinguished guests, representative of Prime Minister Saad Hariri, Madame Bahiya Hariri, representative of Mrs. Nazik Hariri, President of the Rafik Hariri University, Board of Trustees, faculty staff, and above all, the parents who are here on this special day for you. There is no great honor for me than to be here and to speak at a university named after the late Prime Minister Rafik Hariri and associated with the Hariri family. It's a family that gave Lebanon the most in treasure and in blood, the blood of Rafik Hariri, for the sake of Lebanon, for the sake of the future of this country and its people. I want to thank Mrs. Nazik Hariri, who invited me to speak today, but most importantly, for continuing the mission and vision of Rafik Hariri in the humanitarian sphere, in education, and in believing in the role of education in shaping the future generations of Lebanese and Arabs. This university is the embodiment of the Hariri vision to uplift future Lebanese generations and in fulfilling his dream of a country with great values, values of justice, equality, tolerance, coexistence. This is the Lebanon that Prime Minister Saad Hariri is working for too. The Prime Minister has sacrificed the easy life that he could have had and accepted this responsibility. He accepted to carry al-amana, and what a responsibility it is. He is entrusted with the fate of this country, the fate of the future of Lebanon and its people. Prime Minister Hariri carries this responsibility with commitment, dedication, dignity, and with a smile. This is the sign of leadership. Class of 2019, you were too young to remember Rafik Hariri's work, but walk anywhere in Beirut, in Lebanon, and you will see it in infrastructure, in rebuilding Beirut and Lebanon. I'm also sure that your parents have told you about the spring that the Lebanese lived for a few amazing years under his stewardship of the Lebanese ship. We all share his dream. We learned from him so many things, but the most important thing he taught us is to never stop dreaming. He taught us that it can be done, no matter how difficult what we are doing is. This is what I want to focus on today in my talk. I want to talk about lessons learned from Rafik Hariri and lessons you will learn in your future lives, I am sure. And I want to talk about hope and the importance of hope in the lives of people, young and old, and in the lives of countries, big and small. I came to work for Prime Minister Hariri from Washington. He gave me the opportunity of my life. A girl from Western Bekaa with no political connections or zaim to support me. I was on my own. The Prime Minister did not ask if I had political connections or if I was from a certain sect or religion. The questions he asked me were about my qualifications, my experience, and what I can bring to the job. I hope that you will be lucky to be interviewed by someone who sees you through this lens only. This is for you, Lara. This taught me the first lesson about Rafik Hariri. He treated people fairly, as equals, regardless of their social or economic background. He valued educated people, smart and decent people, and judged them on the content of their character and not the amount of money in their bank accounts or family names. I hope that you will do the same. Rafik Hariri believed in the power of education, and so you should too. Education for him was the best and only way to make progress and to move forward for the youth and for the country as a whole. He was obsessed with the future because he knew the majority in Lebanon and in the Arab world will spend their lives there. The percentage of young people under 30 years old in the Arab world is one of the highest in the world. That's why he called everything he started future. The best gift one can give anyone is the gift of education. This is exactly what Rafik Hariri did, and this is what your parents have given you. As you know, Prime Minister Hariri educated 33,000 students, and he asked nothing in return. He was so proud of his education achievements that he used to show his guests the book with the names of all the Hariri Foundation graduates and say, out of everything I did, this is the one thing that I am proud of the most. Prime Minister Hariri believed that wealth inequality is a barrier to education and to social mobility. That's why he started the Hariri Foundation. He wanted to give poor people a chance, to give those who have the talent but not the luck to be born into money and privilege a chance. So please, if you go out there in the world, and when you do well, and I'm sure you will, help educate another person, a person in need. Give them an opportunity to change their lives to the better. Prime Minister Hariri cared. He cared deeply about his country, about its people, but he cared about people everywhere in the world also. Dear graduates, you need to care about something bigger than you, something outside yourself. It could be your family, your neighbors, your country, and the world. When I was at Syracuse University in the early 80s, we had the famine in Ethiopia. I helped organize the first fundraiser on campus to help the victims of the famine. I'm so proud of that. I'm at the United Nations now, and on every single day, I interact with people from 193 countries from around the world. What a pleasure and a privilege this is for me. You discover when you know people from a continent away that we are exactly the same. I want to implore you to care because we are all connected. Your generation is lucky and amazing. You have a 14-year-old, Greta Thunberg, changing the world by advocating for the environment. And you have the iPhone, you have social media. The world is at your fingertips, and the sky is the limit to what you can do. Just do it. Be an activist who changes the world. There are no walls and no borders in the world today. You can reach anyone around the world in a split of a second. Bask in this freedom. I'm at the United Nations, the first Lebanese woman ambassador to the UN. Can you imagine, girls? Can you imagine only after 74 years of the founding of the United Nations, Lebanon sent a woman ambassador to the United Nations? But the fact that it happened now tells you about leadership and about the power of one individual in affecting change. Prime Minister Saad Hariri made history by appointing the first woman finance minister, the first woman interior minister, and the first ambassador to the United Nations. In your future lives, do not be afraid to be trailblazers, to be the change engine of things around you. Change comes only when people with courage decide it's time to do it. Be these courageous change agents. Do not be afraid. Do not accept the status quo. You are from a country none like others in the region in terms of freedoms, tolerance, and perseverance. But it is a country that puts limitations on you and pushes you to play by the same old rules that ties you down to your hometown, to your sect, your zaim, and reinforces your prejudices. You do not have to play by these rules. And I hope you will be the generation who will rewrite these rules and bring about a new Lebanon where everybody is treated equally and justly and is given the chance that suits his or her God-given talents. As you step into the outside world, you will grapple with an important question. How much of what I will achieve in life is a result of mere luck or a matter of effort and hard work. I will tell you, no matter how lucky you are, your hard work will even make you luckier. I can tell you that Rafik Hariri did not succeed because he sat watching TV. He worked hard, very hard, and that's how he succeeded. Loyalty. Loyalty is very important in personal life, as well as in work also. You have to be loyal to people who are loyal to you. Loyalty is a two-way street. The last lesson to talk to you about, the most important, is about hope. Hope is a force that can move mountains, and lack of it can leave people and countries in disarray. It is and will be the key to your success in life. Hope, as a famous former American Federal Reserve chairman said, is the most powerful of all economic forces. I am telling you this because Lebanon suffers these days from a huge deficit of hope. It is self-inflicted. This is worse than any economic deficit. You hear it everywhere. People speak about impending doom, economic collapse, invasions, and the list goes on. Well, if people believe all of this, they will bring it on themselves. I hope that you conduct your lives with the most hopeful spirit, because, as the US official said, man's hope is a crucial element in man's fate. Your attitude and the way you will conduct yourselves will have an impact on this country's future for years to come. So, tell the doomsayers that Lebanon will prevail. Lebanon will get over the current difficult situation. It always did in the past. Be positive, spread hope around you, and be a powerful example. Rafik Hariri was the most positive, hopeful person I ever met in my life. He was like a crane, Rafi'a. He lifts up everybody around him and everybody he meets, and he charges ahead, giving you the force of the whole world behind you to fight, to succeed, and to win. Be that crane to people around you. You leave today to start your lives. What a wonderful beginning to have this. Your professional life is a clean slate now, a canvas. You have the power to put in it anything you want. Fill it with knowledge, with curiosity, with happiness, and keep learning every day. If you stop learning, you will stop to grow, and when you do not grow, you will die. Ask yourselves every day, how can I make the life of people around me better? How can I make my country and the world better? This is what we try to do every day at the United Nations. Representatives from around the world get together and discuss ways how to make the world better, peaceful, and sustainable. I call the United Nations Noah's Ark. It's still the only place in the world where people are working together, no matter what their race, color, religion, or political persuasion is, to fulfill the obligations of the United Nations Charter. Last week, we had elections of the non-permanent members of the United Nations Security Council, and Estonia won a seat. The population of Estonia is 1,316,000 people. They will sit on the council side by side with China, that counts a population of 1,386,000 people. This is what equality at the United Nations looks like. Next year, we celebrate the 75th anniversary of the founding of the United Nations. Lebanon was a founding member of the United Nations and was one of 50 countries that signed the charter in San Francisco. I'm telling you that this small country, that some are saying it's on the verge of collapse, was a key player in the founding of the United Nations and played an important role since then in all of UN's work. Lebanon was one of 3 countries, in addition to France and the United States, that wrote the Human Rights Declaration, 70 years ago. This is not a country that collapses. Do not listen to anyone. Go out to the world. Be proud because you come from the resilient country. Be armed with your education and with your hope, and you will conquer the world. This is what your parents expect from you after all the sacrifices that they have endured. This is what your country expects from you. This is what Rafik Hariri would have expected from you if he were still alive today. Do not let his dream die. Make him proud. Make us all proud. Good luck and congratulations. Thank you.